Good night to our subscribers for CDP Labs Edu Services. I must apologize first of all for the wrong date. It was just edited. One of her subscriber had pointed out to me that we have a wrong date. So I want to say thanks to Mishika for that, for showing us that we had a wrong date. So of course, it has improved, right? All right. So we want to go straight into our okay. Right. So let's get straight into our session. Um, I hope you guys did go, or that you guys did in fact go to our page to, you know, get your work done before you come to the live today. If you have not yet done so, then no problem. We're just going to get on with the show. And of course, I hope last night was indeed a productive one for you, and tonight would even be no different, but much more better. All right, so we're going to be going to question number two, but just before we get into that, so we're going to start the show as we normally would. All right, let's go. Okay, welcome back. I am here, Bifika. I am here. I am here. And yes, thank you for reminding me that we all do make mistakes, which is indeed true. All right, so tonight we're going to go through another um, of our questions. And just to remind persons who are visiting our page for the first time, um, just to remind you where to find the worksheet. All right. Now, just wait for you to understand the purpose of us going live, right? Now, last academic year, which would have ended in around, say, July of um, July of this year, and you know that students would have done exams in May, June of this year. The results at that time was a mere 36% um, pass. So you know that the highest percentage, more students fail than they pass the exams. And so the decision was made to do lives on our YouTube channel for mathematics, dedicate our lives to mathematics so that we can help students who are preparing for exams going forward. However, um, for the live sessions to be interactive and meaningful, we the decision was also made to place the worksheets that we're using on our website. Now, what I'm trying to say to you is this. It is good to come to the live and we love the support, but we want you to visit the website, access the worksheet, try to do the questions like your exam, so you show your working and your answers. And then when you come to the live now, of course, you'll be able to see or learn if you had your solutions correct and also the answers. So that way to be more meaningful. And that's the whole objective of having these live presentations. So it's not just to bill our subscription, but it's to have a meaningful service being offered to you at our YouTube channel. So I'll encourage you that it is very important that you go to our website, which is www.cdplabseduservices.com. And when you go to the website, you will see ebooks and you scroll down and you click on YouTube questions, past paper questions. All right. And there, when you scroll down now, give it some time to load, and then you will see the worksheet. Just for any other viewer, just would like for you to know that these questions are not owned nor created by CDP Labs Edu Services, but they were extracted from past papers created by the staff of the Caribbean Examination Council for this exam called CSEC. All right? So please bear that in mind. Now, without any further ado, we're going to get down into the questions and let us see how well you have done. So last night we did question number 1. Tonight we're going to focus on question number 2. Now, I want to say good night again to Mishika, Myri. I'm not sure if you're a family member of mine, probably, because I have some Myris in my family. So I'm not sure. But I'll find out. I'll ask my great granduncle to find out if you are a part of my family tree. All right. Good night to the other viewers who's on our live now. It would be nice to see if you could say something in the chat. You can say good night, see where you're from, and such delight. Now I'm going to ask that you could share the link with students who may be doing exams probably next month, January that is, which is a few days from now. And of course, those who probably doing um, exams in May, June 2025, live spears. Now, I just want to big up the new Minister of Education. I think she's doing a terrific job on the ground by going to, this whole rollout that students don't use their holiday to waste time. They spend a week. And of course, spend a week to say they could improve on their areas of weakness so they can hopefully the country will see a much higher performance in terms of percentages. Okay, I recognize oh, so you're Mrs. Mary. Okay. All right, ma'am. So I guess your husband might very well be a family member. All right. Okay. So tonight we'll be looking at our second question, and it is based on this data that was gathered. Now we're on the unit statistics. Of course, we're on the unit statistics. So please, I'm going to ask you once again. Share the link with a friend, the family member. Share the link with somebody. Good. That they too can participate. All right. Now, so the question says the table below shows the number of bananas. Well, it never state whether it's green banana or ripe banana, but I figure more or less it's green banana. There's a song that sings, there's a song that the Jamaicans will sing. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Right? Night a come, me want go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Night a come on, me want go home. All right. So, of course, you used to have what we call the banana boat. You understand? So, can just imagine how, um, of course, Jamaica used to export bananas to their farmers back then. All right. So the banana boat will come and collect the banana them. And as you hear, tally the banana. So when they tally the banana, they were counting bananas. I think it's green bananas. Now, each year, they would gather this data to see how many bananas were, in fact, produced annually. So they said the table below shows the number of bananas to the nearest ton produced annually on a farm over a period of 6 years. So each year they would count these bananas, mhm, or maybe they would have weigh the bananas. Good, because we're seeing the word tons. It's a form of measurement. So in the year 2010, they had 150 tons of bananas were produced. In the year 2011, there are 275 tons of banana. In the year 2012, 100 tons of banana. In the year 2013, 40 tons of banana. You can just imagine how the price of banana was very, very high that time because the production of banana was low. And we know what are the things that can affect the production of banana. It can be anything. It could be a natural disaster, right? And so forth. Could be anything, right? Now, we don't know which country this data was taken from. All right. Now, in 2014, production went up. Um, we see 125 bananas being produced. And then, of course, in 2015, they counted 210 bananas. So the production started to go up since it fell in 2013. You'd have seen that pattern just by looking at the data given. Now, the first task, so what am I saying here first of all? Whenever you're doing any exam questions, it is very important to um make the questions seem real life because it is real life. This information is reality. You understand? Statistics is a very important branch of mathematics because we use statistics throughout our entire life. If you're a regular vendor and each day that you go out and you say I sell X number of bags on a Monday, X number of that. When you take that statistical data, right, you are able to know which day of the week most of your clients came. So you know which day of the week that you should go out with more items to sell. So statistics is very, very important. You understand? It's a part of mathematics that it is embedded in your daily life, right? So therefore, it is very important that you learn statistics, implement it in your daily life because it helps you to make wise or prudent decisions. All right? Very important. Now, so it the question is here to asking us to on a graph paper provided on well, they will have given you a graph paper, which I'm going to show you where it is. It's right here. Okay, right here. I'm going to kind of minimize a little bit so you can see when I'm constructing the graph following the instructions given. Now, so they are saying that on the graph paper, we are to draw a bar graph. We are to draw a bar graph um, to represent the data given in the table above. So so the bar graph is a statistical diagram that illustrates the data in a more visible way, pictorial. Good. Easier way to communicate the information to those who it is being presented to. Now, they are telling us now that we should use a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 1 year on the x-axis. So now it's a using, and I just want to make something clear to those who are listening. Using, the word using is coming from the word use, and the word use is a verb. And verbs, as we know it, are action words. Therefore, it is telling you to do something. It's giving you an instruction. So it means that we must follow the instruction given in the question. Right? We must follow the instruction given in the question. Don't just look and do. Don't think you can't do it. Try it first, no? Good. Try it first. So follow the instruction. And we're going to see how to follow the instruction. Now, using a scale of 1 centimeter, perhaps you might not know what is 1 centimeter. I will tell you. And I'm not saying you don't, but for those who don't, I will tell it. To represent 1 year. And note it told us on the what? X-axis. On the x-axis. Good. And 1 centimeter to represent 25 tons on the y-axis. All right. Now, let's see if we can do that. No? Let's do that together. Now, so here we have it. Just going to see if I can reduce it some more so it is more visible. Pardon me. Okay, there you go. Now, just want to let you know that from here to this, from this line to this line on your graph, people, is 1 centimeters. From here to here is another 1 centimeter. Good. Now, so on the x-axis, we're told to use 1 centimeter to represent 1 year. So we're going to start from here to here. And so we're going to put the whatever year right here. Good. Now, and of course, so let's label it. You must label your graph. I'm going to put year. Good. Let's see if we can kind of reduce this a bit. All right. Don't have to put it there. Sometimes I can put it there, but I'm just going to put it here for now. So just for the purpose of space. Then on the other, you're going to put production in tons. Good. Now, all right. I guess when you write it, you will do a better job, I think. Well, I do know. Okay. Uh, all right. Can put it right there. Now, it say must use on the y-axis. You must use on the y-axis. Um, you must use on the y-axis 1 centimeter to represent 25 tons. So it means then that right here is 25 tons, and right here is 50 tons. Get it? So let's say we could set it up and complete it. Now, please do remember though that you're always encouraged to, if you're struggling, seriously struggling, or you know anyone who's seriously struggling with mathematics, especially now, you can encourage them to, you know, register with us. Our prices are indeed affordable. You might be wondering when you go on the website, but I see those prices, you're sure that those prices are affordable? Yes, because we have a discount. Okay. We have a discount. And of course, we do have a discount system in place. We do give coupons. So don't watch the prices on this on the website. No need to do that. All right. Now, I'm trying to see how best I can put these numbers on. So let me see if I can remove this, trying to see how best I can put them on so that it looks appropriate. So here is 25 right here. The next line is obviously 50. They have 75, so you're going up by 25. Good. Then here would be 100. Good. And then here would be 125. And here would be 150. So of course, your first year would commence at this bar right here. So let me just draw that so you can see. So it would start off right here. That'll be the first bar. So that's year one. That year would be 2010 right there. Good. All right. Then now the second bar. So note that, oh, sorry, that's gone a bit too far. Let me fix that up. Gone a bit too far. Right there. So that would be where, so underneath this, you'd have 2010. So let me just write that and show you. I can show you. So this would be 2010. If you want to slant it, no problem. 2010, right there. Because 2010, the production was 150, right? Now, we're going to now look at the other one, which would be 275. Now, I'm not going to label the entire thing all the way up. You could do it on your graph if you so desire, but in the interest of time, I'm not going to label it all the way up. So I'm going to look for where the next number should start at 2011. So this will be 125 right here, 175, and this will be 200 right here. Good. So this mark, let's put a mark there. This mark will be our 200 mark, then our 225 or 250, and then our 275 will be right here. So this is our 275. Good. So our other column would be, and when you're drawing a bar graph, you need to create space. Okay, to create space. And again, we're using 1 centimeter thick. Okay. So this one would be our 275. So I'm going to write the 275 there. So I'm going to still write the 275 so you can see. So this is 275. Good. So that would be 275. Now, and then the year would be 2011. Okay. Then now we have 2012, and 2012 was 100. 2012 was 100. Good. Now we know where that 100 should be, right? That 100 is right here. Because if you remember, this is 25, 50, 75, then 100. So the 100 is right here. So we're going to draw our column again. Right at the 100 mark. I will skip a line again. Now, a histogram is different from a bar graph. Please bear that in mind. In the histogram, the columns are joined together. But for the bar graph, you must have a space between. Okay? So here, this is 100. And of course, we can see what's happening. So for this year, which is 2012, good. So that's 2012 right there. That is 2012. Good. And then in 2013 was the lowest production, right? The lowest production. All right. So I'm gonna say good night to I see one more person join our live. Good night to you. I'd like for you to say something in the chat so we can identify you. Um, why is it important to say something in the chat? Let me tell you why. If you are a prospective student and you'd like to register with CDP Labs, once we saw that you said something in the chat and we could give you a discount. Like for example, if Mishiko was going to join the school, then of course she would have gotten a discount because we know that she's one of our subscribers. So subscribers do get discounts and those who participate in our lives. All right. So in 2013 now, it was 40. Now remember, last night I showed you how to scale the thing. Good. How to determine what each line represents. Now, if it's from if the distance between or the measurement between the two lines is 25 and there are 5 small boxes in between, then you'd have to then divide um the the the, the, the difference between the two numbers. So 25 and 50, the difference between 25 and 50 is 25. So therefore you'd have to divide that 25 now by 5 to know what each small line represents. And therefore that answer would be 5, of course. All right. So each line, because I have to find where the 40 mark is. So if here is 25 and here is 50, Now, in order to get 40, you'd have to find 15 more added to 25 to get to 40. Good. So, and that 15 would have been 3 lines up. So therefore, if here is 25, so 3 lines up will give us 45, will give us 40. So let's see now where we have that low mark right there. Let us see where we'll draw that one now. So remember that here is 25, then 3 lines somewhere right here. Okay. I could be a little bit down. Let me fix it up so you can see it. So one will be here, so around there. Okay. All right. That looks like it. All right. So that will be the 40 mark and a serious dip in the production. So that would be then 2013. So when they tallied the bananas, that year they got 40 tons of bananas, 2013. It's very important to note that. All right. So in our next year, 2014, we saw that the production increased. Good. So in 2014 now, it was now at 125. Or we know where the 125 mark is right here. Good. So let us draw our other column to represent that one. So that would be right here, right? Good. We come across and we'll drop it there. So that would be 2014. Good. 2014. All right. Now the final year, 2015 now. In 2015, they had 210. Now, we know where the 200 mark is, and we need two other small bars to get that 210. So this is the 200. So let's draw the column first. We can line it up. So we go up to where the 200 mark is first, which will be right here. 2 bars up. 1, 2. Will give us the 210. So that is that. So let's put in our thingy. Now we can analyze this. We can look at it and make some conclusions. And you'll find that you'll be answering some questions before it even asks. All right, so I'm going to screenshot this so that, because we're going to be making reference to it. So we have to make reference to it. So we're going to screenshot it. All right. Now, so before we go any further on it, just wanted to take a good look. Now, of course, our highest production was in 2011. That's when they had the highest production of bananas. And the lowest production was in 2013. But if you're going to talk about the highest increase, the period in which you have the highest increase in bananas, then that would be in between 2010 and 2011. There was an increase of 125 bananas, right? If you look at it. So there's a high increase right here, very high increase. Good. And then now, in terms of from 2013 to 2014, they rose from, let's see, if there was 125 in 2014, you have to find the difference between the two. It wasn't as high as 2010, 2011, certainly. That's 4 from 12. That would be 8. So that have 85 increase. And then, of course, for the 210 between 24 and 2015, that wasn't high. So the highest increase in production was between 2010 and 2011. Now, so we can pick out those information from the graph because there are going to be some questions that you have to really look at the graph properly and answer. So I'm taking the time out now for us to look at the graph properly so we can have that good understanding. Now, so this statistical diagram, which is called a bar graph, is showing us something. We can see trends. We can easily see that the lowest was in 2013. We could see that the period where you had the highest increase in banana production was between 2010 and 2011. Good. We can see where you had perhaps the lowest level of production. We can see where in 2012 that was a great reduction, but there was no more. So something when you look at 2013 now, looking at the graph, it told you that something drastical took place that would have caused this to happen. Good. So the graph can tell us something. All right. Now, now we're going to remove this data now, and we're going to look back at the questions and to see what questions they would ask. All right. And then we'll look back on the graph, and then you'll see the answers because I've screenshotted already, so you don't have a problem. All right. So let's bring back this so you can, which is much visible. Okay. All right. So they've asked, so I've constructed the graph. I've got that 4 marks. So that 4 marks tell you how important it is to learn or to develop the skill to construct a bar graph. Not just bar graph, but learn to construct the pie graph, learn to construct the histogram, learn to construct the frequency polygon, because they don't know which of the graphs will come in the exam. Learn to construct the cumulative frequency curve on the graph, because you don't know which statistics question is going to come. So I would tell you to practice on those. It doesn't take any time to practice on those. Okay? All right. Now, if you need help, you can reach us. You can go on our website, fill out our form. Once we have your contact information, then we'll reach out to you and see how best we can assist you in preparing for your exams. All right. Now, part B of the question says determine the range, and another verb, determine, calculate, work it out. The range. Now we need to know what the word range here means. So we have some words that we use in statistics. We use the word range, we use the word mean, median, mode. And of course, in some areas, we use the term standard deviation, which is another thing to look at. All right. Now, I just want to say something as we go along, something extra to you that just came into my mind. What came to my mind a while ago is that content is not something that teachers are pressured to provide students with anymore. You don't have to go to a class and stand up and give them information and show the students that, oh, I know it all. No, content can be learned either by watching a video or reading a book or going to Google and reading stuff. But what is important, it is said that knowledge is of no value to you, or information is of no value to you until put in practice. So whatever you're learning now, if you don't put it into practice, then it's of no value to you. All right? Remember, I told you that. It's of no value to you if you don't put it into practice. Okay? Now, so part B is to determine the range of the number of bananas produced between 2010 and 2015. Now, in order to identify that range, you have to identify the lowest amount produced and the highest amount produced. So the lowest amount produced was 40 and the highest amount produced was 275. So your first step, in order to find the range, you have to identify the lowest amount produced and the highest amount produced. Now, we saw them. Then you find the difference now between the highest and the lowest, and that will give you a range. So, of course, 275, Keisha, you could give me the answer now. You gave it to me late before you put it in the comment section. So 5, and anybody else could give me an answer too. So 4 from 7 is 3. So the range of production then is 235 between 2011 and, well, 2010 and 2015. So over that 5 year, that range is 275. So what it says then, 235 really. That information is important. I want to find out why is a range, the spread, why is that information important? Come tomorrow evening, come not tomorrow evening, but come possibly Saturday evening or Sunday evening to see what that range means. All right. Now, so I have the range therefore, let me know, type it so you can see. So we found the highest, which is 275, and subtract the lowest from, which is 240, and the range then is equal to 235 tons. All right? If you want to put tons. So that would be the answer for part B, 235 tons. All right? So if you did it, then you will be correct. All right, so let's move on to C part 1. It said during which year was there the great, during which year? Now, sometimes they will say during which period. If they had said during which period, then you'd have to use the 2 years between 21 and 2011, which we looked at. I looked at that with you before, that between 2010 and 2011 was the highest, that's where you had the highest or the greatest level of production. Okay. But I said during which year was there the greatest production of bananas? Now that is easy. It's 1 mark. So you look at the table or a graph and you'll see. And that obviously was 2011. So that answer was obviously 2011. 2011 was the year that there was the greatest production of bananas. All right. Good. So the next question now, how is this information shown on the bar graph? How is this information shown on the bar graph? Now note that we drew it on the bar graph. Now how is it shown on the bar graph? Is we use what? Columns. So you basically say columns to represent the production of bananas. That's the answer. Good. So we'd see it's always this information. In other words, then it is the tallest column on the bar graph. And let me show you. So we're going to answer that question right now. Let's answer that question right now. So I'm going to look for it. Then we're going to answer that question. Good. All right. Let's answer that question right now. So they ask, how is this information shown? What information? The highest production. So let's turn to that. Let's turn to that now. So here it is now on the bar graph. It is a what? It is shown. It is the tallest column. The tallest column indicates the greatest production. So that's how it is indicated vertically. They can use all the words they can use when you look at it. They simply ask how it is shown. So when you look at it, the word shown is coming from the word show. And if something is shown to you, you're going to look at it, then you're going to describe what you saw or what you're seeing. So, of course, the answer then would say that it is shown with a tall column. It is vertically. Good. Tall column, vertically. Good. That's how it is shown. And it is 1 centimeter thick. So if you want to go in more details, then you can go in more details. So that is what would answer the question. That's how you'd approach answering that question, actually. All right. Let's go back to our question now. So that's another 1 mark. Now, the other part of the question now is between which 2 consecutive years? Well, let's see, I told that the question was coming. Between which 2 consecutive years? And you have to pay attention to the word consecutive. What does the word consecutive mean? Now, anybody can tell me what the word consecutive mean? You could type it in the chat and tell us what the word consecutive mean. You could type the answer in the chat. Tell us what the word consecutive mean in the chat. I want somebody to Google the word consecutive and tell us what it means in the chat. Who can do that? Quick and fast. Quick and fast. Who can do it? Quick and fast. Tell me what the word consecutive means in the chat. Come on, let's interact. It says 2 consecutive years. So it says between which 2 consecutive years? Who can tell me what the word consecutive means? Look it up. Tell us what the word consecutive means. All right. So between which 2 consecutive years was there the greatest change in the production of bananas? Now, the greatest change. Now, we did look at that. But I want you to look for the word consecutive and tell me what it means. All right. I guess by time you find it, you'll understand in layman terms, it means one after the other. Let me show you. Let's go back to the table and then come back to the question. 2010 and then 2012, that's not consecutive because you have a gap. But from 2010 to 2011, that is consecutive. So if you're counting 1, 3, 5, that's not consecutive. But if you're counting 1, 2, 3, that's consecutive. But I want you to look it up. What does the word consecutive mean? Well, let me do it for you then. Let's go into Google then. Define the word consecutive. What does Google says? Google says following continuously. Good. Successive. In a row. Good. And you notice this word, it says unbroken. So obviously there's no, when it consecutive, there's no, it's not supposed to be unbroken. So you won't skip anything. All right. Good night. Following closely. Okay. I see Alison is saying following closely. Good night, Alison. Alison, where are you from? Tell us where you're from. Thank you very much for following the instruction and giving the answer. Thank you very much. That's where you're from. And yes, following closely. But I prefer to use the word unbroken. I think it makes it more clearer when you say unbroken, because if you move from 2010 to 2012, you'd have created a gap. So it would have been broken. But if you move from 2010 to 2011, it is unbroken. Good. I prefer to use unbroken. But thank you very much for giving us that answer. All right. Very good, Alison. All right. So, so now it says now, which two consecutive years was there the greatest change in the production? Now, if you notice, students might, by a glance, make the mistake and put 2012 to 2013 because they say a reduction. But no, don't do that. Oh, you're from St. Ann. What they call it, the Garden Parish. St. Ann is the Garden Parish. Okay. All right. All right. Good. Very good. And guess what? St. Ann, and you have two A's in your name. Can you imagine that? Wow. St. Ann, Garden Parish. All right. So it is saying here, um, so as I said before, some students might make the wrong choice or the wrong decision and use 2012 to 2013 because it just look. No, I don't want it to just look. Make the calculation. See what's the difference between 150 and 275. Now, the difference between 150 and 275 is a whopping 125. Good. However, hmm, however, however, you know what? I made a mistake earlier. I did, trust me. I did not recognize that I should have looked at the difference between 2011 and 2012. That is why it is important to do the calculation because I would have made the assumption that from here to here was the highest, but it was not. If you got 275 to 100, that is a reduction of 175. This was an increase of 125. But from here to here is a reduction of 175. So that's a great change. Good. There's a great change in production between 2011 and 2012. Now, the change between 2012 and 2013 was by 60. That's not so great. All right, so Jaden saying consecutive mean things that are arranged or happen in sequential order. Okay, Jaden, thank you for your input as well, Jaden. Now, between 2013 and 2014, that was an increase of 85. So that wasn't so high. So far, our greatest change is from 2011 to 2012 so far. But let us look from 2014 to 2015 and see if we get higher than 175. Let's see. All right. So 125. This was 210, 125. So let us see. We get 5 here, 1 here, 95. So the answer to the question then is obviously 175 is where we see the greatest change in production. Note them, put it in a bold writing, greatest change in production. Good. Now, of course, the answer then, the two consecutive years, would be 2011 to 2012. Would you agree? Do you agree? 2011 to 2012. Those are the two consecutive years. Good. 2011 to 2012. Okay, so Mishika says it means that you count in 1, 2, 3. Well, I see I put 3 twice, but I guess it means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be correct as well. So you're all correct, and thank you for being good students in following the instruction. Good job. Now the question is asked now, how is this information shown on the bar graph? All right, again, we're going to use our eyes and answer that question. So here again is the bar graph. Now, we just identified that the greatest change in production was between 2011 and 2012, it is obvious that you can see that if you look at this height to this height, you could see the difference in height. That would be the answer. How is the information shown on the graph? You look at and you see the difference in height. Good. So that is how you look at it. You look at the difference in height. How long this is to come to and compare to how long this one is. So this was the greatest difference in height. This and this one looks like it, but it's not as great as this one. Good. So how it is being shown on the graph, you look at it and you describe. It is the greatest difference in height. That's the answer to the question that was asked. The greatest difference in height. Good. Now, just in case you forgot what the question was, I'm going to bring it up back. They said, how is this information shown? What information? The greatest change in the production. How was the greatest change in production displayed on the graph or shown on the graph? We have seen the difference in height with the columns. Good. That's how it is shown. All right, so let's move further down. And we are going down to wind it up. Last part of the question. It says, give one reason why the bar chart is unsuitable for predicting the number of bananas produced in 2016. Give one reason why the bar chart is unsuitable. Now, unsuitable can mean not reliable. You can't rely on it. For predicting. Now we have to understand what the word predict. The word predicting is coming from the word predict. Good. Now let's look up for the definition of the word predict, because we want to ensure that we answer this question solid. Good. Let us answer the word. So we're going to look for the definition of the word predict. And you can also look for your definition to define the word predict. What does the word predict mean? It's a verb, of course. And the word predict means say or estimate that a specified thing will happen in the future or will be consequence of something. Now, the question is then, what is being used to make a prediction? That's what the best definition is. To declare or indicate in advance, foretell, on the basis of observation, experience, scientific reason, etc. Now, when persons are making prediction, they will use a trend. They will use a trend to determine the prediction. So it's not easy to use a graph to make a prediction. And let's look at that. Let's look at the graph. Now, if you notice that in 2010 and 2011, there was an increase in production. But in 2012, there was a decrease in production. Now, if you notice now, let's say there's a pattern. So over a 2-year period, we saw a reduce in production. Then it continued a year after. But in another 2 years, the production went up, but it never decreased. It just kept going up. So there's no actual pattern to use from the graph to determine what will happen in 2016. And that is why the bar graph is unsuitable to make a prediction for the year 2016. Let me explain it again. The question is asking, why is the bar graph? It's a give one reason, give one reason, give, give one reason why the bar chart is unsuitable for predicting the number of bananas produced in 2016. And we're looking back at the bar graph to get the answer. Again, let us study the bar graph. If you look at the 2 consecutive years, there was an increase, but the year after, there was a rapid reduction. So if you're going to say in 2 years' time, it would decrease. But if that trend does not continue, there's no pattern. When you move from 2012, another 2 years, yes, there was, well, from 2012 to 2013, we now see a deduction. But in the next 2 years, but after 2 years now, we saw it went up back. Now, all right. So we could say then from 2010 to 2012, there was a reduction. From 2012 to 2014, there was an increase. So this is not consistent. Now, if from 2013 to 2015, there was an increase again. So we're not seeing a precise pattern to rely on the bar graph. So the bar graph, the information from the bar graph is not sufficient to be able to tell us that what will happen in 2016. So it's not really that. Let's say, so for you to make a prediction, you have to see, you have to identify a pattern that is consistent throughout the data that is being collected. Now, I was saying before, I just want to know though, if that was clear to you guys, if that information was indeed clear to you. All right. Now, I want to say a special good night to those who are just joining us. I said the numbers are increasing, persons are just joining us. All right. Now, tonight we were looking at question number 2. And question number 2 was based on a real life setting, of course. Everything in mathematics is a scenario based on a real life. Now, the next question that we'll be going through would be question number 3. But if you want to know how to answer question number 3, you must be at the other live. Let's say if we skipped out anything. All right, we didn't skip out anything. We promise we're going to do a pie chart for a 4th question. We'll add a question to this, and we'll do a pie chart because there's no pie chart question that we have on this. Now, just want to point out to others too, one meaningful information they can get from this. And you know, you can be helpful to somebody who's a vendor or who has a small business. How statistics can help them, right? I think I might give my students this as a little hands-on activity. I like when my students have hands-on activity. What do you think about students answer? Okay, I hear Mishika saying, can you repeat the answer again? Okay, let me repeat the answer for you, Mishika. Let me go back to the graph. All right, so I'm going to repeat the answer. Now, note the question that was asked first. The question that was asked first is, give one reason why the bar chart is unsuitable for predicting the number of bananas produced in 2016. Here is the answer now. Here is the answer, Mishika. Here's the answer. The answer is this. When you look there on the graph, There's no pattern nor sequence that is continuous. No, the word is continuous. There's no constant, continuous pattern that you can use to make that prediction. The graph does not provide that. Is my answer clear to you now, Mishika? Let me know if the answer is clear to you. All right, so while we're waiting on Mishika to answer that question, I was just saying to you all that you can help persons, you can apply statistics to your daily life if it means even to help somebody who's in the business of vending, who's a vendor. How can you help that person? Simple. You might see a person who's selling in half a tree, and they are selling from Monday to say Friday, 5 days of the week. You can say you can get a different statistical information from that vendor. You can say, all right, on a Monday, they sold this number of items. On a Tuesday, they sold, so look at a specific item. Maybe it's a cup, maybe it's a bag. I ask them, each day I go to them, say, how much you sell that day? Wednesday, I go to them, how much you sell that day? Thursday, how much you sell that day? Friday, how much you sell that day? Now, when they look at when you collect that data from them now, and you put the graph together. All right, you're welcome, Mishika. When you put the graph together, they will see which of the 5 days was their best day. So they will know from that data, you're helping them now to determine which day. And you can do it over a month and to see if there's a pattern of the same day really is where they get most of the sales. Then they can now use that information to know which day they must bring out most of them goods and where them get which they get the most sales. Good. So statistics is a very beautiful part of mathematics, very helpful part of mathematics. And remember what I said to you before, that knowledge or information is of no value if you don't put it into practice. So if you didn't learn anything else from tonight, learn that. You couldn't read every book in the world, but if it is of no value to you, if what you have read, you don't put it into practice. You know, there's a good book that says, don't just be hearers of the word or readers of the word, but be doers of the word. Is what you do will increase your understanding. Doing is the best way to learn something. By doing, you learn more. Not just by reading nor hearing nor seeing, but by doing. What you do, you understand. The Chinese proverb, what you do, you understand. So, of course, just want to tell you a bit more about CDP Lazarus Services as we go back to the website. So, for persons who are just joining us tonight, to get our worksheet, we have one more question to do, but we won't do that one tonight, certainly not. We do one question per night. All right, but the next question, though, we're focusing on a line graph. Line graph. Now, if you want a more detailed lesson, you can register with CDP Lazarus Services, get access to our video tutorials and our hands-on activities that will boost your understanding and make sure you pass the exam. We are still taking in students, so of course you can join. And guess what? We have a promotion going on. Now, if it is that you start with $50, then next month you'll pay 40, next month you'll pay 30, the month after that you'll pay 20, then after that you'll pay 10, and you keep paying 10. So we're not the school is not charging the same amount each month. It's always on a reduction basis. All right. So therefore, if you know anyone who needs the assistance, or if you self need assistance, just come to our website and you will click on the application link right here. Good. We have a button that says application. I am not seeing that. Let's see if we can load it right here. So you click on the button that says application. And when you click on application, it will take you to the application. And of course, you fill out the application. And once we get your contact information, then naturally we'll get right back to you and the enrollment advisor will tell you what you need to do. Now, of course, persons who participated in the live, of course, you can get that discount, or if you have somebody who you want to join the program, we can give that person discount for you as well. Good. So, but if you just come into the live and doing the worksheet, not a problem. You can then come to ebooks, click on YouTube questions, past paper questions. So, if this lesson, if this presentation was meaningful to you tonight, just click on the like button, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend and to tell a friend about CDP Labs Live. Persons who have visited our live before when we're during the COVID time and we're running through human and social biology, they did very well. There are persons who got a grade 1, and one of these days we'll share the testimonial that the person gave. If you go on our YouTube channel, at the beginning of the YouTube channel, you'll see one of our testimonials. She shared with us, and we'll show you another one at another time. All right. So here's my question: was tonight a good night? Did you learn something tonight? Let me know in the chat if you learned something tonight. Let me know in the chat if you learned something tonight. And I will leave you with this. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight a come and me want go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight a come and me want go home. Peel a janko. No, that was the part of it. Only the banana song is a part of tonight lesson because we looked at bananas tonight. All right. So guess what? That's a wrap. All right. So I think that is a little wrap for us tonight. So Jaden says yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Jaden, for your comment. Is there anybody else who felt that it was a good night? Let me know if you feel it was a good night. Let me know. Let us know if it was a good night. And so forth, so forth, so forth, so forth, so forth. Let me know, let me know, let me know if it was a good night. Okay. Let me know if it was a good night. Okay, Alison said yes. Thank you for that. All right. So thank you very much. All right, guys, thank you very much for your support tonight. It was really a pleasure working with you. Shika says, yes, sir. I'm not that strong in math, but but your timeout and emphasis more, emphasize more on it. All right, I got that one. All right. So we're hearing from Mishika. Let's read what Mishika said to us tonight. So Mishika said, um, she said, yes, sir, I'm not that strong in math, but you take time out and emphasize more on it. Okay. Well, I'm really appreciated for the comments because indeed it is what we indeed are looking forward to do, or I am looking forward to do. But CDP Labs and the whole Jamaica Online School Association, the team's members are willing to give quality education to persons across the world, and that is what we are endeavoring to do. On Friday nights, may not start this week, but maybe next week after the Christmas holidays. We'll see what tomorrow looks like. What's the lineup for tomorrow night? But we have a very special program that we will be launching. We did it before. It was called Home Sweet Home, but we believe that true education is the harmonious development of the mind, body, and spirit. So some of our presentations will be not just based on academics, but we will have something to do with your body and your spirit, and of course to ensure that we give you a holistic service to you guys. And I must say thanks again to Mishika, Myri, um, Alcine, Allison, Jadan. Thank you very much for participating in the making this presentation interactive one. And of course, trust me, I tell you, we are coming with something better next session. It's going to be a competition. I sincerely hope that you will join the competition. What we normally do, and for we to have this competition, I'm going to ask that you guys share the channel with others, that when we see more persons coming in, we can start the competition. And trust me, we normally give away a prize for the competition. It was fun when we did it during the COVID period. Persons loved it. We had the Zoom members competing against the YouTube members, and it was really a thrill. So if you want evidence, you can go look at our other lives and you'll see all of that evidence. All right, so guess what? About quarter one post night from CDP Labs Area Services. This is yours truly, Ronique Bernard. Have a blessed night. Take care. See you same place, same time on another day. God's willing. Take care.